Tech stocks selling off today on the emergence of China's new AI app DeepSeek and a new model it made. As news ripples through the markets, its impact could have even bigger implications for AI governance in the U.S. For more, we're bringing in Matt Calkins, CEO and founder of Appian. Matt, it's good to see you. And I thought of you when I was looking at this tweet from David Sachs, who of course is the AI czar and crypto czar for the White House. He said DeepSeek's R1, that's the new model, shows that the AI race will be very competitive. He also said President Trump was right to rescind the Biden executive order, which he said hamstrung American AI companies without asking whether China would do the same. I'm curious what you make of that view and sort of taking the guardrails off, if you will, for AI firms in the United States?
All right. The war for AI is going to be an asymmetric war between the U.S. and China and anybody else who gets involved. And the things that make us strong are not the same as that's going to make China strong. So we shouldn't worry about trying to match exactly the way they approach this. And I think we have a free hand to make policy. I do believe that the executive order that was rescinded recently were better without it. It was overhead. It was bureaucracy. I think, however, we would be wise to create a national regulatory framework and protect the rights of the privacy rights and copyright information rights of Americans. I think those would be a very American way to create a framework for succeeding at AI.
And talk a little bit more about that, Matt. I put you in charge now. Talk more about that framework. How would you flush it out? What would be the details of that?
Yeah, first of all, total transparency. We got to understand AI in order to regulate it properly. So it's important that we all understand whose data is training these models and how what data is being used. Once we understand that, we'll be able to make better, more enlightened laws about regulating AI. But we've got to understand, first of all, where the value comes from. This DeepSeek announcement is a wake-up call for everybody who thought they knew where the value came from. We thought it was the chips. Well, we need to think about that again. We thought it was the top-level expertise. We need to think about that again. We're not exactly sure, but in all, it reminds me very much of OpenAI. A couple of years ago, we would not have guessed that OpenAI would explode onto the scene as an AI leader. We thought it would be Google. We thought it would be somebody who'd invested more money. It turns out that OpenAI and DeepSeek are both capable of surprising us, and I would expect a bunch more surprises to come in an industry as volatile and innovative as AI. What we need to do is create just a clean framework, a national framework for laws. Don't do this at the state level. Don't put unnecessary overhead on our innovative companies and still protect individual privacy rights. That's the way to do it. And I think David Sachs is on the right track.
And do you think that if that's the case, and even without that framework, do you think DeepSeek being Chinese is a competitive disadvantage? Do you think that there are companies who will say, I'm not going to use this model because I am concerned about what China, not just this company, but that the government in China might have access to my information?
I think DeepSeek is more important as a demonstration of possibility than it is as a product right now. As a product, I think a lot of people would have reservations about using it because of the Chinese ties. And there's some censorship mixed up there that we could probably get rid of, right? But the most important thing here is just the possibility that you could create an AI model, a winning, strong AI model with fewer chips and less money and no big name experts. That's an exhilarating possibility. And so the DeepSeek shockwave that's hitting the U.S. this week is the realization that there may be another unanticipated way to create great AI models.